Welcome to our Bizniversity broadcast this week. And I am delighted that you joined us. If this is your first time, I want to go ahead and invite you to please let us know in the comments, in the chat, your name, your company name, your positioning statement, and tell us all about you because we want to know all about you. Today, I'm very excited because I have a topic that many people have asked me about. And the topic that I am going to be speaking about is about how to actually write emails that will boost your sales. And I'm excited, and I have invited two people to join us, and hopefully they'll join us in just a little bit. And what I want to do is, if this is your first time, I want to invite you to please make sure that you put your questions in the comments. If you're on Facebook, especially, I'll be able to check them out. If you don't know me by now, my name is A.I.D.A, and I am a strategic growth speaker at Bizniversity. I am also a client attraction strategist. And I say that because one of the things that I love teaching people is how to leverage the power of email marketing to be able to powerfully attract clients with your content. And today, that is what we're going to be talking about, which, by the way, I want to encourage you, if you haven't done so already, to make sure that you look for last week's topic, because last week we talked about one of the copywriting formulas that I teach in the Bizniversity sales camp. And today I'm going to share a second one. So let me go ahead and share with you a little bit of the material that I put together to be able to share with you what we're going to be talking about, and also to be able to teach you a little bit about this copywriting method to help you do better in your writing. So first of all, let me move along my slides. The copywriting formula that we're going to be talking about today, and I'll be reviewing. Hopefully, both of my guests, if not at least one of my guests, will show up because I want to be reviewing live with you the emails that they sent me for me to share with you live and do a live hot seat. Now, the copywriting method that we are talking about today is called the A.I.D.A, A.I.D.A. And I did not invent this. And there are many different methods or formulas, if you will, in the marketplace for copywriters to write sales copy. And this is just one of my favorites. And so today, I just want to share with you how you can use this, and hopefully it'll help you to write better emails as well as write better sales copy for your lead generation pages, or also for the sales copy. Oh, I'm excited. And here he is. And let me go ahead and bring in one of my guests today. Let me add him to the stream.
Oh, man.
Hello, Marty.
Hi. We get so embedded in using Zoom that we expect it's the same process. And I mean, I've used StreamYard before. It's just been a couple of months, and I missed one button that I had to press. And I'm like, I thought we're doing this today. And then I saw you on Facebook. It's like, yes, we are doing this today. What am I missing? So I'm with you.
So that's okay. You know what? Not having you also threw me off a little bit, but that's all good, because we're having one meeting after the other. And so I understand. But why don't we begin first by you introducing yourself, and then we'll go into a little bit of our topic today. So just give everybody a sense of who you are, your positioning statement, what you do, and how you help. And then we'll talk a little bit about how we met.
Sure, that'd be great. My name is Marty Dickinson. My main website is herenextyear.com. I'm a 25-year service provider, and I work with organizations who want to connect with their perfect fit customers so that the sale happens naturally and delivers long-term customer loyalty. I am the founder of Speakers Speak Live. I always have a t-shirt with me where professional speakers get together and we practice our speaking skills every week. on Zoom. We need to incorporate StreamYard into that so that we all know what we're doing once we get on there. But you are all welcome to join us if you are a new professional speaker or if you've been at it for a while. Join us, and it's free. It's an hour, fastest hour of the week, and we have our event every week. Speakerspeaklive.com.
And you know, that's how well we met actually through Lois Kramer in her clubhouse, because you're one of her co-hosts. And then, you know, someone invited me, or you invited me. I think it was you. You invited me to this wonderful group. And may I say, really, it's a group of people who are fearless, because they have to be brave. I have been attending a few weeks now regularly, and I'll tell you, I congratulate everyone from the person who's running the show to the main speaker, because all these speakers are looking at all the speakers and they're giving them, of course, good tips to improve themselves. And I just think it requires you to be very, very brave to do that. Yes?
Absolutely. We do require that people just, come visit and be a fly on the wall and see how the whole meeting works. And I shouldn't even say meeting, it's an event. It really is. It's a fun event. We have a good time and everybody improves in their speaking skills at the same time. But you come and just watch and meet some people, and then you get more comfortable, and eventually you sign up, you pick a date that you want to share 10 minutes of your best stuff. And a lot of times it's brand new material. And that's a perfect place to do it because we are such a supportive group. So all that constructive feedback you get is it's coming from the heart, number one, but it's also coming from the perspective of professional speakers who are out there in the field on stages. So they're not only looking at, well, how did I react to this 10 minutes that you just presented, but how are the audiences going to react that I'm used to speaking to? So you get that added benefit of getting real feedback from your peers as professional presenters, just listening to the feedback and not even speaking. You'll walk out of there a better speaker. It's really amazing how it's happened that way.
It is truly amazing. And you know, it's so wonderful that one of the benefits that you offer, not only is it free, but also you offer the main speaker who speaks for 10 minutes, the recording, which I think is just that's worth $1 million, because everyone is giving the main speaker the feedback. And I just think that, Marty, that's wonderful. And you know what I was thinking today? I'm like, oh my God, even though I've been speaking for so many years, I'm learning so much, just like you were alluding to. And I would like the recording just to be able to catch like all these pearls, which is the feedback that the attendees give, because it's just like all the time I'm like, oh my goodness, I would have done that. I'm so grateful that this person mentioned that. It's just powerful.
Yeah, and it would be impossible to take pages and pages of notes. So it just makes it easier to say, just listen to the feedback. Don't take any notes at all. We'll send the recording, and it works out real well that way. And we don't actually make any of those speeches public because it is a practice area. It is a safe practice area. If you're going to try a new presentation tool, you might fall on your face, and that's exactly where you want to do it because you're going to get the support. You sure don't want to get 5 or 10 grand for a paid speaking gig and then go out there and fall on your face. You want to hit it out of the park. So this is your opportunity to bring all those new things you want to try them in a safe place and get that experience.
Yes, and that is great. And you know, I just wanted to thank you for being here with me today, because we've connected. I love your energy. You know, you're an energetic person just like me.
Mhm.
And I mentioned to you that that I've been doing a sales camp during the summer, and part of the sales camp is been teaching people different ways that they can leverage the power of email marketing to generate sales. And you know, because you are so brave, because you said, oh, I would love for you to have me be in the hot seat and go over my email copy. And I think this is such an amazing learning experience for all of us. First of all, Marty's group already teaches that, meaning be brave, be fearless, and go out there. And then also, it's a learning experience for all of us because it doesn't matter how long we've been in business, whether it is reviewing this email marketing copy or whether it is doing a 10-minute presentation inside of Marty's group. We have to remain open to learning because that is the way we'll expand and grow, right?
Yeah, being in business for yourself is just like speaking. I always say speaking is like golf. I mean, you can practice your whole life and there's always room for improvement. And the same thing with business because things change so often. So you're always learning and you're always adapting and you're always using, well, if other people have tested things, then you still should test, but at least you have comfort knowing that someone in the past has tested and you can look at those results and believe the results that you get in your own testing more easily, if that makes sense. Kind of Bugs Bunny what I just said, but testing is so critical. And I think that's what really drew me to you originally was when we were talking about email and email marketing and sales copywriting. We started getting into conversations about, well, you still, even with all these techniques, you still have to test because what works for one person might not work at all for you. And it's all about testing. And that's where you make this transfer from just wanting to get more business to being in business. And that's a very important threshold to move beyond, is to really treat everything that you're doing as a business. And if you're going to do that, you're going to become obsessive about testing things, especially sales copy.
Absolutely. And Marty, I'm also grateful that you're here because you are one of the partners that we have right now for our upcoming yearly Bizniversity Sales Made Easy Conference. So that's right, my friends. Make sure you mark your calendar because our Bizniversity yearly conference will be October 13th, 14th, and 15th. And the theme is all about sales. How do you sell your solutions? How do you sell yourself? And I'm so delighted that Marty is one of our promotional partners and perhaps even more because I love Marty's energy. I love what he's doing. So he is one of the people that is really helping us to put this thing together. And I so appreciate you for that, Marty.
Well, where the energy comes from is that this is fun. It
Yeah.
should be fun. I mean, if we wanted to be miserable, we'd be in corporate America where I used to be. I mean, talk about living in misery. So every day of this business is fun. And like I said, I've been doing this for 25 years. It doesn't get old. It doesn't get stale. It's fun. There's no place I'd rather be. So yeah, I'm energetic and happy and smiling and having fun. It's a great way of life. It really is.
I love it. And so let me go ahead and say also thank you to Lourdes Valentin, who is also checking us out. I don't know if I think she's on Facebook. And I want to remind people if you're watching from Facebook or LinkedIn or YouTube, to please feel free to share your comments. Tell us a little bit about you and also ask your questions. Now, here live during the show, we can see the questions, I believe, just from the Facebook group. But later on, I'll go back and I'll look at the comments inside of YouTube and LinkedIn. And by the way, if you're watching the replay and you want to make sure that you catch all the time that we go live on YouTube, make sure to subscribe to our Bizniversity YouTube channel and ring the bell to be notified when we have a new video. And so now I want to just say that I also share this same topic for today slightly differently because after I wrote it, I said some people may not know what A.I.D.A is. And they might think, is that A.I.D.A? Is it a person? And so I decided to make it slightly easier for people to remember. And so I wrote how to create emails that actually boost your sales. So if you are not familiar with the copywriting formula and method, don't worry, we're going to be here, and I'm going to share that with you. And like I said, this particular training is part of a training that I share with the attendees of our Bizniversity Summer Sales Camp, which is currently going on. And if you're interested, please feel free to visit our page as well as to send me a direct message either via social media or email, and I will let you know how you can still join us and perhaps take advantage of the recordings and still join some of the live sessions that are going on until the end of August. And by the way, stick with us today because before Marty and I leave, I'm going to be giving away the first of its kind Bizniversity Sales Made Easy Conference Pass. That's right. You are going to be among the first to get a free pass. So what we're doing is we haven't even put the page live yet. That's going to happen later on this week. But if you visit bizniversity.com right now, you'll see that there'll be a pop-up that will come down, and that is your opportunity for a chance to win one of our conference passes for free. That's right. So make sure you visit bizniversity.com, and I'll tell you more about this before we end today. So let's go ahead. And Marty, by the way, anytime, feel free to just, chime in. Let me do a little bit of training so that you understand how I reviewed your copy. And just so that you know, we're going to do 2 of your emails for the sake of time. I know you sent me 3. And the first one I've already started. So I did my homework in advance. The second one we're going to do live here together.
Okay,
And
great.
so this coincides perfectly with our summer sales camp that we are creating email content that sells. And I'm calling the session that actually starts tomorrow for our summer sales camp attendees email enticers. So in a little bit, we're going to be able to actually view live what this looks like. And if you've ever been to one of our Bizniversity broadcasts, or if you've ever attended one of our Bizniversity strategic growth seminars, you know that I am a strategic growth speaker. And as such, I always like to begin with strategy first. That's right. We must begin with an email marketing strategy. We must begin to think about what is it that we want to see happen. You've heard the saying that says, begin with the end in mind. I like to say begin with results in mind. So bear that in mind when you begin writing email copy, sales copy for your website, for your lead capture pages. I want you to have a strategy. And today we're not going to talk a lot about strategy, actually not much at all, except for the fact that I want to make sure that you remember a few things when creating your strategy for email copy. And first is for you to think, as you're beginning to think of the end in mind, begin planning and really looking at who is this email for? Where is this person in the email buyer's journey? And by the way, I just added the word email, but this is the buyer's journey, which I like to say that the know, like, and trust factor is the beginning of the buyer's journey because I actually teach a 7-step. But today, because Marty sent me 3 emails, we're going to talk about 3, and we're going to keep it really simple, thinking about that know, like, and trust. So, Marty, can you please tell us the emails that you submitted? Who are they intended for?
New professional speakers, number 1, and speakers that are they've reached a plateau. It's all for professional speakers. The book is actually here. It's called Lions Always Win, How to Spot What You Want in Your Professional Speaking Business and Get It Too.
Excellent. So tell me about what is it that you want to see happen? Why are you writing these emails? What is the purpose of this email? Tell me a little bit about that so that people can understand and also so that I could understand as we're getting into the content.
Okay, so this particular email, a person has already joined Speakers Speak Live. They've gone to the registration page. They know that it's a free weekly event. They want to attend it. And then as soon as they register for that, they get introduced to this book. And the reason they get introduced to it so early is because it used to be a requirement. Before I would even work with a potential client, I had to get to know what they wanted help with. Where do you want to go? How many sales do you want? How many, how many products do you want to have in your product line? Where are you taking your business? And I'd ask the question, so what do you want? And there'd be the silence on the other end of the phone, or if we're meeting in person. Well, what do you mean? What do I want? I want you to go make $1 million. You're the guy I've heard to go help me do this. Well, that doesn't help me. I need you to be part of the process here. So I started this book as a special edition of a book that's been on Amazon for a couple of years now. Just Lions Always Win: How to Spot What You Want in Business and Life and Get It Too. This is a customized version just for people who are already speaking or are about to get into the speaking business, because I've found with speakers, in addition to just business owners in general, they don't know what they want either. I'll say, well, how many speaking opportunities do you want in the next 12 months? I don't know, 150? Really? Do you want to coach softball for your daughter? Well, yeah, of course. And I want to be home. Okay, so stop.
Yes.
So back up. So I'll ask some more questions, and all of a sudden that 150 winds up becoming, maybe I'm more in that 20 to 30 category. So it really takes some thought to figure out, if you're going to be in this business, how much time are you able to devote to it? How many weekends do you want to be away? Do you want to travel abroad? Do you want to stay locally? So all these need to be put into a sequence so that people can figure it out. That's what it's about, is that sequence to help you with that.
I love that. And so my understanding is the people that are getting these emails that we're going to review, they know you. So these are not cold emails per se. That's very important, because I want people to understand that we need to write to where people are in the buyer's journey. And the reason for that is because if we're just meeting someone for the very first time, we need to understand where they may be in their mind. And I just want to do a quick review of this particular slide, because what I'm showing you is in the general marketplace where people may be in the buyer's journey. And if you look at the very top, the green, you notice that just about 3% of people are actually ready to buy right away. So what that means is that 97% of the marketplace may not be ready to buy, either because they don't know you, or because they don't know they have a problem, or because they don't know that there's a solution to their problem. So take that into consideration when you're thinking about what you're going to write and to who you're going to write. So that's number one. Secondly, I wanted to share with you this decadent chocolate cupcake. Doesn't it look delicious?
It does.
I want you to remember this image when you think about writing your copy. And by the way, for those of you that are vegan out there, this is a vegan chocolate if you want it to be so. And you notice that it has some fruit at the top. Then it has this wonderful chocolate frosting. And then we get to the cupcake. I want you to remember that when writing your copy, because the top of your copy should have an intriguing beginning. Remember, we want them to be intrigued by how it looks. The middle of it should have a riveting middle. And then the bottom of it should have a very satisfying ending. Now, that is not the A.I.D.A method, but it is a great way for you to remember and review when you write copy. Does it meet these three things? Next, I want to introduce you to what we call the A.I.D.A formula or method in copywriting. Now, I did not invent this, and it is one of the many copywriting formulas available for copywriters and salespeople and marketers in the market. And so the A is for attention. So you want to grab people's attention. That is independent, Marty, of whether they know, like, trust, or love you. Like I say, you want to grab their attention right at the very beginning. Then you want to catch their interest. because especially with email, Marty, can you guesstimate about how many emails people get each and every day?
50.
Over 100.
100. That's the average.
Over 100. That's right, over 100. So the question you need to answer is, why should they read your email? So you got to get their interest right away. So their attention and their interest. Then the desire. You want to show them why your solution, why what you're sharing is so desirable. You want to think about, how is this a solution that will make their lives or their business better? And then lastly, action. And what do I mean by that, Marty, when I say ask your customers to take action?
Well, they have to take a next step. I mean, it's only information unless you're able to inspire them enough to take a next step and do something.
I love that you said that. And I love it because I love to say inspired action, meaning you're inspired to share with them what's next, like he said, and also you're inspiring them to take action. So let's take a look at what this looks like, and then we're going to jump into Marty's copy. This is actually a sample from one of the emails that I sent out when I did one of my challenges at the beginning of the year. So, number one, attention. Do you want to know how to use the psychology of influence to attract customers and make their mind click the buy button? So immediately I'm grabbing their attention. And are there particular words here, Marty, that you would say that grab your attention?
Want to know, influence, attract customers, of course,
So
and
you want
click
to
the
be
buy button, because that it's really the click the buy button is the most important thing. If you can make that connection to get people to take that next step, that stands out the most.
absolutely. The next one is I for interest. And this is what I wrote. Do you want to know the most coveted secrets of marketing psychology that will help you make more sales? What do you think about that?
Secrets,
Secrets?
more sales.
More sales? Absolutely. And so we want to learn how to use words, and powerful words, and also emotional words. So we want to learn different words to use. The word secret is often overused by many of us in the marketing world, but it is such a powerful
It
word.
works. Yeah, it works. I mean, you really brought up an important part here about copywriting is that people know that word works, and yet they shy away from using it. I mean, you're just leaving money on the table when you do that, because you want to use things that are tried and true. It's the other things that you have to test.
Right, right, absolutely. And by the way, so what that's one of the things that I share with people inside of our community. I share with them how to leverage the power of words
Yeah.
and how words influence behavior. And so the next thing is desire. Dive into the most powerful psychological issues that influence your clients and find out how to use them to boost your sales.
Hmm.
What comes out at you here? What do you think about this
Well,
sentence?
I really like the word dive, because it shows a path that you're offering that people are actually going to do something, not just read a bunch of fluff, but an actual, I'm expecting a step-by-step process. I haven't been through your program, but just the word dive into means to me that you're going to share a method. And that's what people want. That's what people want to buy, is a sequence to follow.
Absolutely. And then the last A, which is the action. If you want a crash course in how to use the psychology of influence, join this Business University Strategic Growth Session to learn today and learn how to use the psychology of influence to attract clients. What words captivate you there?
Crash course, so that it's not going to take forever. This is not something you join for 4 years to get to your result. That's really important. And let's see, join, because I know I'm becoming part of something, a community.
Absolutely. And yes, you got it right away, Marty. The words there, and you said it exactly correctly, 100% right. That crash course, because I've mentioned powerful. And so we also want to make it easy. We want people to feel like they can do this. So let's go ahead and go through that. And we're going to do that now by actually sharing with Marty's permission. Marty, do I have your permission to share your wonderful copy that you send me in advance?
Absolutely.
Awesome. Now, Marty, let me just give a few disclaimers. First of all, as I mentioned, these this way rather is one of many copywriting methods that you may deploy. Last week I shared the PAS system, which is my second go-to way of writing. This happens to be my first, and you may or may not like it. So you may want to explore maybe last week's episode where actually I had someone else, Vidya from your group too, and I examined and went through stuff with her. So you might want to look at that, or there are a myriad of others, which by the way, we'll be discussing some of them in Clubhouse tomorrow night at 5:30. So if you want, explore what could work for you. But let me go ahead and share this. Oh, my total disclaimer. I am doing this with kindness and love. You always you always have the decision whether you like it or not. It's
Of
like I
course.
tell all the business owners that work with me. It's your business. What you do with it is your business.
Mhm.
So all I can do is give you my best suggestion and help you to the degree that you allow me to help you. But at the end of it, this is all about you. So you do what feels right for you.
I love
Yes?
it. Awesome.
Okay. So first of all, on test email number 1, I found it to be a little long. Now, for those of you that like to take notes, let me explain what I mean. I, by the way, like to always begin by writing it either on a Google Doc or a Microsoft Word doc. And the reason for that is because I can review it and I can see, and also it'll tell me how many words is this particular email. Now, of course, I made my little checks and everything, but it's about over 400 words, the first email. So, first of all, Marty, I don't know if when you interviewed me, I gave you a an idea of more or less what an average email, how many words an average email should be. Did I say that to you? Not
I
sure.
don't remember that coming up in our discussion yet. Now,
So I want to remind everyone who's watching to write this number down. You want to keep it at around 200 words. 200 words. Because remember, I said that we all get about 100 emails a day. So you want to make sure that you write it short, concise, to the point. That's number one. So, number one, for this particular email, I found it a bit long. Now, people, before they get into reading, they look at the subject line. And please write that down. Subject lines are very important. And I teach what I told Marty during his interview with me is subject lines that scream to be seen. And by the way, this one is a pretty good subject line. How many speaking dates do you really want? And it could be a little bit better because you are getting close to the ideal amount of words that you want. So you want anywhere from 3 to 5 words for your subject line. This particular one has 8. So if you could make it slightly shorter, then you're dead on. You're good to go. So please remember that you want to write your subject line short and to the point, and of course your pre-header too. And that's very important because people are making a decision before they even see that you have 400 or 200 words. They're deciding on their phone now, should I open this? So want to make sure you're tantalizing and teasing people. And one of the best subject lines to write, by the way, for those of you that are taking notes, curiosity. If you can make people curious, It's kind of like that chocolate cupcake that I shared with you, right? If I can say there's something delicious inside the cupcake and you're going to be surprised because it's one of your favorites, right? Then you kind of make the person curious, don't you, Marty?
You do. Yeah.
So I want you to think about that and think about how you can make it slightly smaller. Now, the first thing we said is that you have to grab people's attention. And yes, I made it really big so that we remember. So the first thing Marty wrote, and I excuse me that I crossed it over. When I
That's
meet, when I
You're
meet a
so
speaker,
apologetic.
well, I definitely I'm doing it carefully. You know, I appreciate and admire you, and everyone that ever works with me. I tell them, I said, I'm just going to give you what I think.
Good.
So, not the best way to begin this email. So, I love that you put the name, and so I remember to add the name at the very front. How many times do you want to speak this year? This, I believe, is a more attention getting phrase. Therefore, I would suggest we delete that sentence and begin here.
Okay.
Don't worry, Marty, you're going to get this document back. So, this question is almost always followed by a long pause and then a number, usually in double. So, what I would suggest is that remember, an email is a two-way conversation. Even though the other person is not speaking, they're listening, they're reading, right? But we want to pretend. So, you want to be more conversational. So, this is the way that I write, may not be the way you write. So, I would have said something like, by now, you're probably thinking about that, you know, like, so I would say that to kind of get their attention, like I'm thinking about what you're thinking, and maybe you're thinking about that. So maybe you begin questioning if that is a realistic number. Why the change? Once you add in the factor of life, business, and desire for balancing it all, the reality sets in. And then here I would write, perhaps you begin adding in the factors of your life, business, and a desire for balancing it all, and maybe reality is setting in.
Yeah. Good.
So make people think. Go ahead, you were going to say.
No, no, I was just agreeing. That's a good addition. I like it.
Yes. Only then can you possibly win at the game of speaking business. And then I like this, right? And what I would say is, and you know, one of the people that always resonates in my brain is Terry Brock,
Oh
where
yeah.
he's always saying to focus on other people when we're talking and doing our speeches and our training. And I take that into email also. So let's talk less of talking of ourselves and more of them, and using what in a way that makes it sound like it's all about them. So I've supported hundreds of speakers to build their speaking. That is a great sentence. And I don't know how, because I couldn't think right before we went on this, how I would change it. But I would say perhaps, in case you're wondering, or if you don't know me by now, let me just share that I've helped people over the past 20 years. And that is why I'm sharing this with you, because I believe I can help you too. And if you don't feel that that's the right word, you could say something like, because I think I may be able to help you. And you see, so now you bring it back to them. I think I may be able to help you.
Right.
And kind of you, that time we're writing vague on purpose. I think I may be able to help you. And what you're saying is, and by the way, this is where I use my neuro linguistic programming, NLP, because I write the way that I am, and I'm a thinker. I'm an analytical mindset. So I know that I'm attracting a lot of thinkers too. So that's why I go into the thinking mode with people.
Mm.
And as they're reading it in their head. They're perhaps not reading out loud. So they may be in their heads. So that's why I write this way. So um, then the next part, I'm going to break it down to where I see the parts of A.I.D.A. The next part is interest. That's why I recently produced a customer edition of my books just for professionals. It's called blah, blah, blah. The Lions. I don't mean blah, blah, blah. I'm sorry. I do that too often.
That's okay.
Lions always win. How to spot what you want in your speaking business and life and get it too. So I don't know if this offers anything. So I'm not sure that I would put that in there. And I'm just thinking about, because we want to condense this
Right.
and make it about 200.
Yep.
So I'm not sure that that's relevant, because aren't you going to tell me how I can get it?
Oh, yeah.
So then that may not be so relevant.
Okay.
Similarly, this, I would add it as the end call to action in terms of where they may be able to get this book. And then, interestingly enough, here you begin speaking and sharing some of the testimonials and reviews, right? And that could be very well in the interest part. That could. It could also be part of the desire part when you start. But this is what I really like. This was something that I really like. If you're new to speaking, this book is the catapult you've been looking for to save you a year or more of wasted time. That is a beautiful, beautiful, powerful, desiring statement. And that was one of my favorite statements in here. So I would definitely keep that. And then maybe put a little bit of these reviews and testimonials that you have. And when you're writing them, I would see about writing them perhaps in different font, even maybe italicizing, um, if you can, just so that people can actually look at it. I would keep these very one line. So Lois Kramer said this, Frank Kitchen said this. So like, for example, this would be maybe what you might want to consider
Yeah.
from him.
Yeah.
So
I
go
need
ahead.
to add an emoji in the email when I
Yes.
get to that. That was the intention there. Yeah.
Yes, 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 yes. And then this is also part that you could put part of the desire to. I've developed a surprisingly simple process for discovering all of the pieces and parts you'll need to acquire literally anything. I also like that very much. And now we get into the action. And I like these questions you came up with. Are you willing to invest a few hours of time in yourself, or a few hours of your time to invest in your business, right? To get everything you've ever wanted? If so, or you can say, if you do, or if you want to, then I want to invite you to visit speakerspeaklive.com right
Invite,
now.
invite is a good word. Yeah.
And the other good word is, I want to invite you to discover
Mhm.
how you can get everything you've ever wanted in your life.
Right.
So these are all ways that you can rephrase that. And then go to Speaker Speak Live now or today. So emphasize it. Click here now, or click below now, or click below to read more, or click below to find out more how you can get your hands in this wonderful special edition, Speakers Edition. And I know you call it Speakers Edition. Since you know they're already speakers, I might even say Special Edition. Does that make sense?
Okay. Special edition for
For
speakers,
them.
or
For
just
them.
special edition and leave out anything to do with speaking.
No, no, no. You could add it. I'm just saying that
Yeah.
you could make the call to action and the actual gift, or offer, or whatever you're giving, to make it sound even like, this is special for me. You wrote this for me, and this is special for me.
Yeah. Good. So one question about
Yes.
about having the action suggestion earlier is the hope with that is that it's a trial close. So yes, the email is longer. And in my second example, it's not even 200 words. It's a lot shorter. But in this example, it's longer, but yet has a trial close in the middle. So people that are convinced by that time bang, they just go there. I mean, again, these are people who are part of Speakers Speak Live. They might even saw the promotion originally when they registered before, and now it's just a reminder. Oh yeah, I meant to go get that. So my hope is that there's a trigger that happens that most people don't even read through the whole thing. They just get halfway down. Oh, there's the action trigger, and let's go. And then for other people who aren't yet convinced yet, now there's the testimonials and the more direct call to action. So is that and again, you never know until you test this to see what really works. But what do you think of the general idea of having a trial close in an email? You see it all the time on 20-page sales letters on
yeah.
the web, I mean, where they're constantly, there's like 10 buttons where you can order things. But in an email specifically, is that something that you advise?
Yes, absolutely. Like I said, you always go with your gut and your experience. And yes, I do suggest it. And yes, especially if you have long copy. Now, I'm not a lover of long copy, okay, because I don't like reading long copy. So
Right.
I do not write long copy. But in writing long copy, that is definitely something that you must do, especially if you have it on a web page. You do have to have several calls to action if you want people to really click, because of exactly what you just said, Marty. And that is, people may get excited right at the very beginning. So you want to give them the yes, here it is. It's kind of like for sales, pardon me, that you've heard people say, if you have a whole sales presentation, but someone is already ready to say yes, you don't continue and you say, wait, no, you can't buy it yet. I have 15 minutes of my presentation.
Exactly.
So you don't want to do that. So yes, you're absolutely correct. Any other question?
I don't think so. This is great. I really hope that people are going back and watching the recording of this, and I'm going to go watch the one that you did with Vidya too, because this is really where the money's at, folks. I mean, you can have the greatest speech in the world, and you can have the best website in the world, but it comes down to the darn sales copy. And I mean, this is great to be able to brainstorm this with somebody. That's a rarity in this business. You send this to a designer and they're going to be like, yep, looks good, here, you put this on the web page. It's like you're not going to get any feedback at all, because it takes a special kind of person to be a copywriter, a sales copywriter. You should be charging for this.
And I do,
How much
and I
do you want me to
do,
send to you?
and I do. And by the way, for those of you, there's still time to join the Bizniversity Summer Sales Camp. We are going all the way through the end of August, and the recordings are available. So by all means, feel free to visit the page. And I'm going to go ahead and put it here for those of you that would like to check it out. And as always, I remind you that if you have any questions about anything that we've shared here, you can always email me and always visit our website. My email is evie@bizniversity.com. If you have some very specific questions, if you like help with your particular email copy. And like I said, by visiting bizniversity.com today, you'll be able to win a free ticket to our upcoming Bizniversity Sales Made Easy Conference coming up on October 13, 14, and 15. And so you notice what I just did there, right? I put a call to action right before we finished.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I love it.
So this is your test number 2. And that's the other thing I wanted to talk about. I love that you call these tests. And yes, I suggest you do an A and a B test. And an A and a B test may be just on subject lines sometimes, because that's for many people the first hurdle they have to overcome. Meaning, if you're not getting a lot of people opening your emails, then by all means do an A B test of your subject line, where in some systems like Constant Contact, that's already automated. That's automatic, meaning you can actually say to Constant Contact in the dashboard, I want to test 2 subject lines. And then you can say 20% of your email subscribers will get A, 20% will get B. Then the remainder 80% of your list would get the winning subject line. And you could decide that based on the first 6 hour responses, the first 12-hour responses. And so I'm sure that there are many other email marketing providers like Constant Contact that offer that. And if you are not familiar with what I just said, then by all means, please feel free to reach out to me and or look for it if you have a tool that you're not sure this exists. But if you have to do it by yourself without automation, then just segment your own list. Does that make sense? Now, I would like you to read this, and now it's your time to tell me, what do you think about test number 2? And now I went through number 1, so now you know what we're doing. So go ahead, Marty. Now this is your chance.
Well, just before we end, I have a story to share about testing. So it might not be the perfect time right now, but just it's really important to get that one in here sometime. But what I did with test number 2, and I actually think this one is going to pull better because of its direct and to the pointness. I just think that's going to be the case, but again, you just never know until you do test. The other one, just based on its length, I think I can cut it down. It's just it's I don't know. I just think that a first promotion of this book to a group that's they already know you, and most of them even know me by face because they've been on Speaker Speak Live. So I just have a hunch, and hunches are very dangerous with copywriting. Sometimes you get a hunch and you forego the testing. So I want to make sure to not be that optimistic about this one, but to be to just go into it with not expecting anything. And maybe even a third email to test after this based on the result. Who knows?
Well, right now we're only going to, because we're coming up on the hour, we're only going to be able to go through this one. But to begin with, you use the same subject line, which I want to encourage you to have a different subject line, even though I told you that this subject line is fine and that I would suggest you make it smaller and tweak it. And then this email is actually 214 words long. So I like that. And then, of course, look what you did here. You started with their name and a question. So yes, this one is already better.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So go ahead and tell me what I want you to do, what I just did with your first copy with this one. And if you find nothing, or if you have, now that I shared with you the things that you did right, tell me what you think.
Okay. Well, I think that's attention getting. So if we're going to go, the interest is the interest would be special edition. So as part of a community that you're being brought into something that is exclusive to you. So there's an exclusivity factor, hopefully, that is tied to this. So there's your interest. So go there if you're curious about it. The reason for mentioning not available on Amazon is, again, to have that exclusivity. You're getting something special before the rest of the world, because the plan is to sometime in September launch this officially. But we want to get lots of testimonials up front. We want to get a lot of experience with people working through the program, all that kind of thing. So hopefully they consider that to be part of it. The desire is...
Hold on 1 second. Hold that thought. I want to give you a word that I would like to encourage you to use more often and in this particular space, in this copy, and that is because.
Because. Okay.
That is a very powerful word. And one of the speakers, actually, Tim David, who's going to be speaking at our upcoming conference in October, he talks about the magic of words, which was why I was attracted to his talk. And one of the words that he did research and talks about the power of the word because. This edition is this edition is not available on Amazon because it is a special edition.
Yeah, perfect. I love it. Beautiful.
Go ahead.
So desire is all about benefit statements, and benefit statements, I always like to start with a verb. So understand, go down a little bit further so I can see the rest of it here. Understand why you're not getting, just directly addressing the problem. If you think you're not getting enough speaking dates as you should, well, here you need to understand why. And then the next step in that sequence is to determine what you truly want in this. So again, an action word that starts that benefit statement, and then make specific plans. So how do you actually, once you figure out what you want, how do you actually go about planning for it? So I just wanted to have three main bullet points, and then get right into the proof, the desire that other people have read this book, other people in very, very high places. Lois Kramer and Frank Kitchen, he's the busiest speaker I know, paid speaker, by the way, as well. So just to have those two as quick suggestions, reviews, testimonials, whatever you want to call them. I'm hoping that is enough power for people to have the Me Too effect, right? Oh, well, they approved this book. Maybe I should really go check this out too. So that is the lead in to the action, which is the final step where I suggest that they go.
Hold on. And I want to say a couple of things about this part here.
Yeah.
And this is great for everyone who's watching and listening. Bullet points are powerful, and they help readers read and engage with your content because it catches their attention. So anytime you can, add bullet points or enumerate things. And if you're enumerating or adding bullet points, there is a magic, and people have researched all these things in the amount of bullets or numbers. So 3 is good, 5 is good, and no more than 7. So I'm showing 7 fingers so that you can remember, no more than 7. So I want you to remember that. That's very important. And if you have more than 7, people become overwhelmed. 3 is just right. And then on top of that, what I would like you to remember are some of the words that I said. You want to take a look at this because, or what you will discover, or by reading this, you will discover. You see that? So I want you to really use more powerful words. Yes?
Absolutely. Beautiful.
And then you have a few people here. Okay. And then where is the action? So you put it at the very beginning. So
only at the beginning. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
So what I would suggest is you put something like, remember, you can get this
Right.
now by visiting.
Yeah.
And do
Remember.
it like a remember.
Yep.
Okay. That's a powerful word to use because it makes you like, oh, remember.
Yep.
The other way you can do this.
That just goes to show how important it is to have somebody else look at what you're writing, whether it's even for strategy or not, just to say, well, you had your call to action up here. Why didn't you put it down here? I didn't even notice.
That's right, because sometimes people are just scanning through your copy and they go all the way to the end. So remember to add that. And then here's another tip, Marty, for you and everyone who's watching. And thank you for everyone. Please feel free, by the way, to share your comments or your questions if you're inside of Facebook. If not, please feel free to email me and I will respond to your email about anything that we covered today. Here's another tip I want to remind you of. You could also do a PS at the end under your signature. Now, Marty, tell me, in your experience, when someone has written a PS in an email, what do? You
always read it. You always go to a PS and you always read it. You might even scan past everything and just go to the PS.
And that's it. You said it. That is the key point I wanted you to understand at the end. Sometimes people scan the whole copy and all they go to is that PS. So because you mentioned it already at the top and you're doing A/B testing, why don't we do one that says PS at the end?
Definitely.
And you can still use remember. PS. Remember, you can only get this book by visiting this website today.
Right.
Make sense?
Absolutely. That's great. Can I share my little story for everybody in 20 seconds?
Absolutely. And just stay put also, because we want to let people know that today you have an opportunity to visit bizniversity.com, the homepage. You'll see a pop-up, and I'll show you in a second, where you can enter to win the first available tickets for our upcoming 2022 Bizniversity Sales Made Easy Conference. And I'll tell you more about that in just a second. Please, Marty, share your story.
In 1996, I started my first website, and it was a membership website for musicians, bands, and music instructors. Within a couple of years, we had 20,000 members in this group. And I decided one Saturday morning I was going to send out an e-blast to everybody with a special promotion. So I started 2 days in advance that I was going to write this perfect, beautiful email and spent at least 6 or 7 hours writing it, sent it out to everybody. Guess how many sales I got? 0. Nothing. I got so mad after the next day. What is wrong with these people? That I sat down and in 15 minutes I wrote out. I mean, it was almost just in spite of the email that I sent the first time, and I got a 14% conversion rate in sales. Now, call that repetition or call it just disgust at my own audience, but one thing I proved is that you can't beat yourself up for writing email copy and then getting no results. You just need to keep working at it and look within yourself to what sounds right to you and test. Back in those days, we had no way to test emails. You have all kinds of tools to do that now, and it would have made so much more money had I had that testing ability back then. Test everything.
And Marty, that could have been my story too, because yes, back then, about 12, 14 years ago, I did my first membership site. And yeah, I had a very similar situation with my first times trying to sell. And I say that to say that the only reason why I get better is for 2 reasons. Number one, I have an affirmation I say every day, in every way, I am better and better. And number two, still to this day, 15 years after, I still call myself an email marketing practitioner.
Definitely.
Because I am practicing my trade to get better.
Perfect. So important.
So, Marty, before you take off, let me go ahead and invite you and those that are watching to join us this coming Thursday and every Thursday at 5:30. This Thursday at 5:30 inside of Clubhouse, Don King and I are going to continue the conversation, and we're entitling this Clubhouse Persuasive Patterns to Power Through Sales Fears. And we're going to be sharing how to leverage the power of copywriting formulas like PAS and A.I.D.A to write sales copy to help us to sell more easily while getting the fears out, because our confidence is elevated when we feel we have a formula. So I want to make sure that for those that are watching, join me. If you can't make it this Thursday, then by all means, next Thursday. And then, of course, I want to remind you that we have opened the free tickets that we have available right now for some of you to win them. So what I want to encourage you is to go ahead and visit bizniversity.com right now. And when you visit Bizniversity, you will see that there is a pop-up. And let me see if I can show you real quickly so you see what that looks like. Let me know, Marty. I'm sharing here on this second screen. Let me know if you can see that.
I can.
Okay. Let's see if it works for me, because I visit this, so it might not come up. So it's not coming up. Let's see if I open in incognito, and maybe it'll open up. You'll have a pop-up that should open up. Let's see there it is, incognito. So if you are an expert, a thought leader, an influencer, a membership or course site owner, please go ahead and sign up for your chance to win a free pass. The drawing, our first drawing, will be next Wednesday. For those of you who may not know, but Wednesday, I declare them Wealth Wednesday or Win Wednesday. And so every Wednesday now, we're going to be giving away one free pass starting next Wednesday. If you would like to get your free pass, go ahead and visit bizniversity.com. Look for that exit pop-up to show up, write your name, and then tune in next Wednesday at 2 p.m. Eastern Time to see if you're the winner of our free pass to our upcoming Bizniversity Sales Made Easy Conference. I got stuck there because we've called it Speaker Summit for so many years, but it's called the Bizniversity Sales Made Easy Conference. And Marty, before we say goodbye, I want to remind people that I've placed my link for an appointment. If you would like an appointment to talk about what I have to offer to help you move forward faster in your business, by all means, feel free to visit the link below. I'll put that also in the comments on social media. Marty, is there anything that you would like to say, leave people with, let them know about what your offering is? And once again, please tell people about how they can join your group.
Well, the first thing to do is if you are a speaker already, or you are just on the cusp of getting into the speaking industry, join us at speakersspeaklive.com. Register to attend our free Wednesday event that we just had this morning. It is the fastest hour of the week. It is so much fun, and you get to connect with all kinds of other professional speakers. Join us there. You can also go to our Facebook group, speakersspeakgroup.com, where we support each other all week long. So you should just become part of that anyway.
Love it. So Marty, I wrote it there. I think you could see it. Did I get it right? Speakersspeaklive.com.
Speakersspeaklive.com. You got it right. Yes.
Awesome. So please feel free to connect with Marty, especially if you're a speaker, because Marty has some amazing free offerings that you definitely will benefit. It doesn't matter whether you're just starting your speaking business or you've been speaking for a while. Right. So Marty, how was this for you?
This was an amazing opportunity. Like I said before, it's very, very rare of an opportunity to be able to brainstorm on sales copy. I mean, when you go hire a professional sales copywriter to write a page of content for you, expect to pay $10,000 and up. I've done it. I've paid copywriters to do this kind of work. That's what the good ones charge. You can always go to Fiverr for $25, but why would those people be charging $25 if these guys charging 10 and 20 grand there's a reason why they charge. You know that. So to have this opportunity, I would encourage anybody to take up your offer, Evie, to come on live here and really go through some of this content. I think that's an amazing opportunity for people, and just to hang around other people that are studying this. So go to the conference, go to Clubhouse. Clubhouse is on my calendar for tomorrow. I'm going to be there. I can hardly wait, because you just don't get to talk about this stuff very often.
Awesome. So thank you, Marty, for being here. Thank you for all of you who tuned in live. Thank you for those of you who stayed with us all the way to the end or watched the replay all the way to the end. I thank you. I look forward, Marty, to continue our business relationship. And of course, as always, I look forward to hearing from all of you who are watching this. I am A.I.D.A, Strategic Growth Speaker at bizniversity.com. And remember, Bizniversity is like university, but you drop the U and replace it with BIC. And I would just love to help you to create email content that converts your clients so that you can sell your solutions easier. Thank you so much.
Hello, my name's John Tenza, and I've been a success coach for the last 20 years. I've been a professional realtor for 30 years, and I've taken all kinds of seminars and truly have paid over $100,000 to other experts to help me become better at what I do. I can tell you beyond a shadow of a doubt that Evie Hernandez is in a league of her own.
I just finished a 3-day client attraction retreat with Evie Hernandez, and it was one of the best trainings that I have experienced.
Ease and really having something that is simple, that works. And that's what she gave us. Simplicity, ease, the things that work. And it was just the most fantastic experience. And you've got to do it. You got to do it. Got to try it. Buy the replays. Whatever it is, make it happen.